What's up, guys? This is your boy GMH Ghostman Herb. I don't know why, but they gave me that nickname a couple years back. But today we are starting a YouTube channel. Sports with Herb. And you know, as you can see here, I have my U.S. national team jersey on. Got to represent because that is the topic that we're gonna be discussing today. As you guys know, if you're a U.S. Fan, you know that it's already the new year. Happy New Year's to everyone. And there's a camp that is going on. Some people refer it to as Camp Cupcake because in the past it hasn't been used to its full capacity, I guess you can say, to its full possibilities to explore different type of talent to incorporate into our strong national team that we have going on. So this time around, I decided to do something different. Hopefully, able to better this opportunity for the future. And I think it already started off good because, for one, I think the last couple of times we've had this January camp, it's only been like one game. This time around, it'll be two games, and I think the two competitors that we're going against, Venezuela for one, the South American team, and Costa Rica, a proper Concacaf team. They'll be good competition, especially Venezuela. They're scrappy, typical South American team where they show fight, they show grit, and they take pride in playing for the country. Not to say that Costa Rica doesn't. But Costa Rica, some things similar to South America, Central America. They're strong, they're gritty, they fight for every challenge, they fight for every play. They don't stop running. So I think it'll be a good test. Now, what I did is I took all the teams from the MLS and I took out at least some players. I tried to, and when I emphasize that I really tried to put at least one player from every MLS team that could possibly have a player representing them in this camp. I'm not gonna say that they're actually going to go. There's, these are the players that have a more likely shout out to actually do go, with a couple of exceptions. When we get to there, I'll explain as of why. But let's get this started. The first one up from Atlanta United, I would be with Noah Cobb. Why Noah Cobb? 19-year-old. He's, like I said, he's a youngster, still a teenager, still developing. So he'll be one of the first cases of a possible exception as to possibly get caught up. But if he doesn't make the list, these are guys that could possibly just train. Why not just send him out an invitation and tell him, hey, come out, show what kind of material you have, show that you belong, and show that you can play up and that you can participate like with the big boys. So Noah Cobb would be the first one. Second from Charlotte would be Tim Ream. Tim Ream, as you know, he's veteran overall. I really wish Tim Ream was younger in age, especially because he's a ball playing center back. He's played majority of his career in Europe. Did really well in the World Cup. Last couple games, not so much. But the experience that you can give around from someone who's seen it all, it could be really beneficial towards the future. Another one would probably be Patrick Aubameyang. He's this tall, lengthy striker. He really made a pretty good debut season here in the MLS. He has some speed, and just the fact that strikers we are limited on here in the domestic league. Everyone knows that our best strikers play abroad. And so for this camp specifically, he possibly could just be a shout out, like come in. Let's see what you got. Another shout out would be Bershimas. I know last year, it's only been 2 days, but last year he was out with some of the academy teams from over there because he's only like 16, 17. So he was getting some trials over there. I think for one was Manchester United, and he did well. So if he is back already, again, he'd probably be another case like Noah Cobb. Hey, come out. You're not on a list, but come out and train. Show what you got. From the Chicago Fire, one that's really been catching the eye from everyone. Everyone's saying that he deserves a call up would probably be Brian Gutierrez, especially because of the fact that Mexico's snooping in. Supposedly Chivas is looking after him, to wanting to sign him. But I think from Chicago Fire, Brian Gutierrez is one to look at. He had a pretty good season to come in. Has that different type of playing. Has vision, likes to shoot from the outside, pretty good technique, control. So he's one that I really think should get a call up. The other one, everyone knows, goalkeeping situation is not the best, which is weird because previous years that was our strongest suit. Nowadays, it's really not. So Chris Brady is a youngster. I think he's only like 20. I think if you need to see all the reps, all the players that you need to get from goalkeepers, he's one to look for the future. For FC Cincinnati, everyone knows Miles Robinson. You already know what you get from him. Honestly, I don't even think he's one of our strongest center backs now. So if you already saw what you get from him, there's really no reason as to why to call him. And it's a different case from Tim Ream because Tim Ream's actually played in Europe. Miles never has. So I mean that's a knock on him. But another one would be Roman Celentano. Again, another goalkeeper. Pretty good in the shootouts that he had in the MLS playoffs. And he's just another goalkeeper that you possibly look at. From the Columbus Crew, again, Dejuan Jones is one who's already gotten looked at. I'm not surprised if he would be on there, but another goalkeeper would be Patrick Schulte. I mean, you've already brought him in, yes, but again, our goalkeeper situation is not it's not the ideal. So give him extra reps, see what else he can do. He might throw in a surprise here and there. I mean, you never know. From DC United, one that a lot of people I feel like are kind of not giving as much attention to would probably be Theodore Di-Pietro. I watched some of the games from MLS and also from the other competitions that they were in, and he seems like he's pretty good player. Might surprise you, so that's one for DC United for sure. From Inter Miami would be Ben Kramaski, just because that Messi effect, like it's the Messi effect is real. Shots fired. But yeah, Kramaski would probably be the only one from there. For Montreal, I would probably put in Bryce Duke and Caden Clark just because at the end of the season when Caden Clark came in, he had like a resurrection, and they both kind of like were on focus, were on point with themselves. Or they played a 3-4-2-1, and they were the two attacking midfielders for Montreal. So, and they're still young, so I mean, hey, let's see what they got. From Nashville, it would be Walker Zimmerman, but you're again another case like Miles Robinson. You already know what you get from Walker Zimmerman, so might as well just give his spot up to someone else. And Shaq Moore, I just put him on there, but there's no way he needs to be anywhere close to being back to the national team. From the New England Revolution, Noel Buck just came back from his loan, so I mean, hey, he's in rhythm. I don't know if he's been playing or not, but I mean, he's came back from his loan. Hey, he's a youngster. Try to convince him, to come over as a dual nat. Give him a shot, and if he's not on the list, then just give him a hey. You want to keep sharp for the season coming in? Come and get some more reps in. Another one that would be in the same situation would be Peyton Miller. I mean, it would probably help him out as well because there's the under-20 World Cup that's coming on. So if you get that experience playing with some of the big boys, then I mean, why not? For New York City FC, I put the list down and I put him on there would be James Sands. He's kind of the same situation as Miles Robinson and some of the other guys that you've already seen when he's got called in. I mean, well, before, but obviously with Pochettino he has it. But James Sands, but he just got loaned over to a German team, St. Pauli. So you'd have to scratch him off the list and see you want to give Europe another try. Shout out to him for seeking that. But again, goalkeeper Matt Freese. He came up big, some pretty big saves. He was pretty impressive. So Matt Freese is definitely one to give a shout out to. And another one would be Maximo Carrizo. Just get some reps in. I know he was training out in Argentina with some guys over there. So I mean, if again kind of like the same thing. Want to get more reps, want to get some extra stay sharp, come on down. From the New York Red Bulls would probably be John Token for sure. I know it's already transfer season, so there's already rumors that Belgium was looking out for him. Some teams. Again, if he doesn't get called up or if he doesn't get transferred over, John Token would probably be one to look. He was pretty solid in the Olympics as a left back. Obviously, went to the finals with New York Red Bulls, playing as a left wing back, especially because they played a 3-4-2-1 as well, or 3-4-1-2. So he's someone that you could look up, especially because our left back depth isn't the greatest after Anthony Robinson, for sure the clear starter. So John Token would be a good look at. From Orlando City, again, just lack of striker, and it would be Duncan McGuire. Um, Went to Olympics. He's all hustle and bustle. It kind of just reminds me of a Jordan Morris type, but I still feel like Jordan Morris is way better. And Duncan McGuire just, like I said, he's just all hustle and bustle. He has scored some goals, but I feel as a striker, he still has to implement a lot and develop. So, I mean, again, lack of strikers. He was just one to call out like that. From the Philadelphia Union, one for sure that I want to see would be Jack McGlynn. Nice left foot, steady, good passes, control the midfield, pretty good technique. So he's one that's definitely would be exciting for to take a look at. Would be hard to get into our national team, especially with our center mids and our midfielders that are in there all playing in Europe. So that would be tough unless he gets a move to Europe himself, which would be good. Another one that would be dynamic, just because he plays like different roles, would be Quinn Sullivan. I mean, he strikes the ball pretty well. You could use him on the false line up top. Again, striker. See if he can fit that role. And yeah, overall, he had a pretty good season. I mean, another shout out would be his brother Calvin, just to get extra reps in. You know, especially with everyone hyping him up and like all the talent that he has. He already played a couple MLS games as well. So, and then another one that went to the Olympics would be Nathan Harriel, the right back. He was pretty solid. He held his own. Well, I mean, he'd be an interesting one to look at. From Toronto FC, again, when I said I really tried to put everyone, include at least one person from each team, it was hard. But Toronto FC was a no go. They didn't have anyone, and then Austin FC also didn't have anyone as well. Although if they do get Brandon Vasquez, he at the time that I made this list, that rumor wasn't there. That rumor was that he was going to the other MLS team. So I mean, if I would have known if he's already gonna come to Austin, then Brandon Vasquez would probably be on that list. But from Colorado Rapids, again, before he came back to the MLS, Reggie Cannon was actually a pretty solid option at right back. It was between him and Serginho Dest that were the two right backs. This was before Joe Scally cemented his backup place. But Reggie Cannon was actually a pretty solid right back option. So I feel like if he can get back up there, he can challenge Joe Scally to be our backup right back. So that battle with Nathan Harriel and Reggie Cannon would actually be pretty extreme. Also from the Colorado Rapids would probably be Georgi Mihailovic. I feel like obviously he had his reasons why he came back from Europe to MLS, and I feel like he went too late in his 20s career, just too early, but too late to go to the Eredivisie, to the Dutch league. He probably needed to make that jump earlier, and when he did make his move to Europe, Georgie probably needed to go to a much tougher league as he was already in the later stages of his 20s to develop. So that probably didn't help either. He was hit and miss, but I mean he's pretty creative, and if you bring him along with other better players, like they say, iron sharpens iron, so he might still surprise you. Another one that he had a good understanding was Cole Bassett. Obviously, Georgi Mihailovic was playing as a 10 in a 4-2-3-1, and then Cole Bassett was playing with one of the double pivot positions. He was either like a 6 or an 8 because they connected really well. So you might want to take a look at that. He's a shout out. And then I mean Zach Steffen, for a reason he was at Man City, but he was a backup to Ederson. I really do feel like Zach Steffen got snobbed. He should have gone to the World Cup. It must have been tough for him, but yeah, he's one of those situations where he already got some looks in, didn't get called in, didn't get playing time. Um, I feel like some of the older keepers are younger, but I think if you want to have like a experience type of head, Zach Steffen would be one to go with. FC Dallas. So when I made the list, Jesus Ferreira was still an FC Dallas player. Now he just got transferred over to the Seattle Sounders. So from FC Dallas at the time that I made it would be Jesus Ferreira slash. I know the rumor was going on. There was potential about it, but it wasn't like nothing for sure concrete. But now that he is, so yeah. Before, without him being there, I don't think FC Dallas has anyone, so it'd be a no go for me. From Houston Dynamo again, Brooklyn Reigns, same situations as like Noah Cobb, Bershimaz, some of the kids like that. You know, don't put them on the list, but invite them. From the LA Galaxy, the champions of the MLS, and my favorite team was here at repping. You know, the champions. Um, from them, it would for sure have to be Jalen Neal. Like Jalen Neal lost his place. I know he gained some experience already playing in a Gold Cup. Um, so, but again, he's a ball playing center back. He's still young. Center backs develop a little bit later on. So, I mean, he's definitely a shout out to give out. Look, I mean, again, you compare him alongside Tim Ream, let him learn, let him soak all that information that you can get from him. So he's one for, even though he lost his place at the Galaxy, he's one to call up. Another one that was solid, just because I mean it's my team, whatever, would probably be John Nelson at left back. Aude was a left back going in before his injury, and then John Nelson stepped up in a big way, and he was really crucial. He was really good. I was impressed by him. So I mean, if you want to give him a standout shout out, I wouldn't be mad at that about that. And then another one that was good in the pivot role all by himself was Edwin Surreal. We acquired him mid-season in like a trade, and he settled in nicely with Pooch and with Marky Delgado. So I mean, and he looked pretty good on the ball. Recovered. He knew his role. So I mean, and he's pretty nice on the ball. Pochettino likes midfielders who are good with the ball that can pass. So I wouldn't be surprised if he calls in, but at the same time, if he doesn't, the same. From LFC, we have the older Tillman, Tim Tillman, brother of Malik Tillman. I mean, he's okay. Obviously, Malik Tillman was better, but I mean, if there was from LAFC, it would just be Tim Tillman. Um, he's not gonna probably get into our strong team with all the European guys, but he is a shout out. From Minnesota United, they have no one. From Portland Timbers, there wasn't anyone as well. Nothing from them. From Real Salt Lake, Diego Moonboy Luna. Now he's probably already long overdue. A call up, a look up. He brings that different type of swag to when he plays. The one fault I find with him, he comes in and out between games where like you he comes in where he does his stuff and then after you kind of like don't even forget that he's playing sometimes. But I mean, he's still young, and again, he has that different type of swagger to him. Again, doing that kind of with Mexico, even though he's played with our youth teams, and one who got snubbed from playing at the Olympics. I feel like he should have definitely gone. Would have helped out a lot. But yeah, Diego Luna is for sure. If he's not for some reason, if he's not in here, that would be so much of a shocker. Like him between Brian Gutierrez and Diego Luna, like I would like to see both of them in there. They're young. They have potential, and you see that he has a good head on himself. Like Diego Luna has to be called up. Like this would be great. Like ideal, especially with how much he can learn from Pochettino. I incorporated the new team, San Diego FC, but again, there was already the question of Diego Luna, not Diego Luna. I'm sorry, but that they were linked with Brandon Vasquez. Again, I put no one for them, especially because the whole situation is unclear for Vasquez. So I mean, if he doesn't get called in, anyone Brandon Vasquez, I mean, probably because of his situation where he didn't know where he's gonna play next season, but there was a rumor he would come back home to San Diego FC. So I mean, that's one for them. From San Jose Earthquakes, one kid that I really would look for would be Nico Sakiris. I mean, when I see him play, he's a different type of midfielder, lefty. Really good on the ball. Technique wise, he's really great. I saw him play with the that tournament that was in the summer. He had the number 10. Obviously, for a reason, they gave him that number. For San Jose Earthquake, sometimes he plays deep, sometimes he plays up. So, but I think Nico Sakiris, a lot of people slept on him, and that's someone. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he does get a run in. He has like a different style of play. So Nico Sakiris would be one that I would be really be looking for. From Seattle Sounders, again, Jesus Ferreira, if he's already on there for sure, so you can call him a Seattle Sounder player that you could call up. But the other two that I would look at would probably be Cody Baker and Jackson Reagan. Jackson Reagan was solid. He's a solid center back, probably the best American center back in the MLS. Still fairly young, kind of. I think he's like 25, 26, but he's like a mountain. He's tall, like he's really tall. Hardly loses any air duel that he's up there with. So he's probably one that I would like to see him go up against. And then again, it's just competition wise. So again, he can learn. He's still relatively young, so you can learn from Tim Bream if he does get called up. From Sporting Kansas City, another right back would probably be Jake Davis. Pretty solid. Made some mistakes, but again, he's still relatively young, and he can. I could see him getting a run. And then from St. Louis City, there wasn't really anyone. I mean, they have decent, pretty good players, but there wasn't anyone. And then from the Vancouver Whitecaps, again, prior Brian White, he's already got called up into a January camp, but I'd much rather give it to like younger strikers than him. And then would be probably Sebastian Berhalter, son of Greg Berhalter. Again, he's a Berhalter, but he's not the one that put us in the pickle and all that and stuff. So, and he's pretty decent. He's could play different positions. I've seen in the 3 game series they went against LAFC. He played in the midfield, and they switched him to right back. Pretty good crossing ability, pretty nice on the ball. So I mean, hey, if he does get kicked in, wouldn't be surprised. But also if he doesn't, again, not surprised as much. And then some of the exceptions, guys, would probably be like the guys from the Liga MX or some of the guys who were on in Europe in the top leagues who are on break, I guess you can say. These are just possibilities. Again, since we're moving forward, since we're looking towards the future, and so these guys would be a good idea to bring him in if their club allowed them to. I know Rukas Puskas at the time they tried to last season or last January, but it was a no go. So if you want to go ahead and try with him again, don't really know what the situation going on, but he's a youngster that could probably come in and impress. Another one would probably be Cole Campbell from Borussia Dortmund. He's been in and out of the first team due to injuries, but I think before the break ended, he was back with the second team with the reserve team. So Cole Campbell, dynamic winger, he would be nice to see get some reps in over here, along with Pedro Soma, a Barcelona player, and his fellow Barcelona player Diego Cochin, because he really does seem like he's going to be the long term guy for the goalkeeping situation here for the U.S. If he does decide to play for us, he's already got caught up. He's not even been capped, but just keep him in. So Pedro Soma, Diego Cochin from over there, and then some of the older guys from the Liga MX again. Brandon Vasquez, his name has already called up. Sendejas, Alejandro Sendejas from the champions of Club America. Again, he's already got calls in, but he played pretty good. He had a good final in the both legs. He was giving assists. He scored a goal, and why not see if he can take that leadership type of role with some of the younger guys that do get called up. Another one would be Cade Cowell. Just because our winger situation isn't the greatest either. So, and Cade Cowell is probably just waiting to get just to explode. I remember seeing him in one of the January camps before, and he was probably like the best player on the field. He was the most dynamic player when he was still in the MLS playing with San Jose. So if you can recapture some of that, then some of the teams that were like looking at him and scouting him for Europe could probably get like another look out for him. But yeah, again, our winger situation isn't the best, so Cade Cowell would probably be one to come in for. Um, yeah, those are all the MLS teams. Those are all the guys. Hopefully, I did get some of the names right. I know there's going to be names that most likely aren't going to be on the list or probably weren't even considered. But I really did try to go through the list of every MLS team and did my best to get at least one player. If I try to look at it, and some teams obviously didn't get any players, it's because it was just so hard or they didn't have anyone. But yeah, I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna keep the list and see how many guys I have on there. I'll check out all the guys that I did mention, and there's probably going to be guys that I didn't even mention for sure. That because I know there's a guy that's from Argentina, Matko, who's already confirmed to be on the list, even though he's had like disciplinary issues with all the club teams that he's been on. I don't know why you would want a guy who has discipline issues to get called in, but again, being that Argentine and he's played over there probably helps. Um, but yeah, as soon as the list comes out from the team, I think they're supposed to report on the 7th of January to have like what 13, 14 days in total for this camp. So it's going to be a pretty good couple of days, a couple of weeks, and hopefully it's a successful one. And it's just a better one for the future. It's already better because, like I said, mentioned before, it's already 2 games instead of one. So that gives you more reps, more runs, more training, more just more of everything to get a look out for these guys. And hopefully, like I said, it's just for the future. There's been some guys who got called up into this January camp and have made it a big impact on the national team. And so once the once it comes out, the list, the official list, I'm going ahead and make another video where possibly how they'll play, the lineup, who will possibly get reps in, well, the starting 11, seeing how they play, how they fit in. And yeah, if you haven't already, please, this is the first video, so show support, so love. Be making more content, more videos like this, so please subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, I mean, again, you can leave them in the comments. So yeah, thank you. Blessed, and let's go.